I'm not too happy actually with this part, but let's go with this for now. And I think I might also need to fix this a little bit more because the perspective doesn't look too great. Let's grab all these layers because there are a lot of stuff painted in, so I don't want them to get lost. I think this is better. So I might come and clean this part later. It's so bright, it just bothers me so much, this part. So also notice something, maybe I just moved the layer here to my sky layer. I don't know if I just moved it by mistake or just like this since the beginning, which I'm just gonna move it up a little bit. And yeah, fix that edge. And I think I'm pretty happy with where the light is. I might move it up a little bit here, like this, just to have the sun right behind my structure. For now, I might just also fix the water too. And I have this water here, okay. And then the sky is here. Might do a little bit of more. Just better. But again, I forgot that this is affecting all my shore, so I'm just gonna undo this. And I will get another layer here, another curves layer here. Just darken this part a little bit more. Control I, invert it, and I just want to be affecting only my shore, so I just go back to that area and get a soft brush. Just put this back in. With a full white, this part can stay lighter. And also guys, when I'm doing this part, you see this small hill here? I'm just going to convert that into another big rock in the water. So I will have another nice separation here. So what I will do is I just make another layer above this, all of them, and just make a rock shape here. I'm gonna come and fix it later. It's causing a lot of soft edges when you do it with this lasso tool. Because it's a rock, so you want a little bit of hard edge there, but it's really easy to fix later. So you get this layer here, and then Control H to hide this, and get this color pick. If there is a adjustment layer above me, yeah, there is nothing. Let's see, there is nothing affecting me. Yeah, there's nothing affecting me. So let's get this color and put it here. Actually, I might go a little bit darker here. And I can come and adjust it. So it's not so bad. So I will adjust this manually with the value check later on. Let's put this on a curve layer. And just push this back. It's still too much. So it's not too bad. Let's go with this like this first, and then let's get this hard brush and just paint this back in. And then I put a mask here just to make this rock a little more believable. I'm just gonna add some smaller rocks here. And then now I'll start to add some haze to these layers with a soft brush. So I'm going to do them all right now. And this is the first one. I'm going to put this behind these new rocks. I'm going to call this mid rock. And then mist. Let's start adding these first, right in front of our big rock, and just get a separation between these two, and then I'm going to decide on the color after that. I think this is okay. And this mist, I think I should add a little bit of texture color brush instead of just a plain soft brush. I'll grab a little bit textured cloud brush. I have a lot of them. Yeah, this might work. So it's a little purpley color. And then when I have this eraser, I'm going to pick this same or different texture brush. Because you want to have a lot of texture right there. So texture always gives you a good and nice effect instead of having a regular plain brush. So let's get this mist a little bit coming up from this side, and then it just goes lower as it reaches the outer part of it. And then I am going to add another layer in front of this mist. Save this first. You always have to keep some backups, like keep saving this project in different steps. You never know when you have a Photoshop crash, or you never know when you need to go back, right? Before it's too late, you can go back and get your old files. And let's do some more mist in this part, and just come and erase that. And I think this fit okay for now. And also I want to have this mist in between my foreground mountain and the boat. And let's call this mist. So I'm having this red, so I know that this is in front of my foreground rock. I have a pretty big brush here. So I might get a little bit lighter here. And I can always come and tone this down, so it's not a big deal. So just keep painting this mist until I'm satisfied with the separation. And then just gives a little more atmosphere and give a little bit mood here. And you see it's already starting to look more dramatic, and you have this nice separation and things blend into each other a lot. Even this top part, I'm going to add a little bit mist to. So it's good to keep your layers named too. You don't have to come back and just try to understand what is this, and I'm just gonna call mist, and when I come back there, I know what it is. And this is gonna be a mist, top mist, let's call this top mist. And I'm gonna have a little bit warmer mist here. Yeah, just a little bit mist here. And come back and erase some of it. So I love this because it's a really great way to blend things together. It's like a trick, and this is actually how the world we see is working. Just all the atmosphere, all the particles, that's why things just blend to each other, and then they get lost when they go into horizon, they get cooler, and this atmosphere perspective just gets in charge. I think this is pretty okay for now. I still feel this rock is pretty dark. Let's see if I can just make it a little bit cooler first. And also, I can see I can push this back a little more. I think it's better, but I definitely don't want too much red in this, too much green in this. The second part for foreground elements will be some trees in the foreground. And after adding these trees, I will start to wrap this up. I'll just put a little bit of mist painting here.
Now we build our castle. In the next lesson, I'm going to add some foreground details to the painting.